Yeah, saving for retirement. I talk always about it. It's important to watch the costs. An index fund is a great tool because it has very low costs, very low fees, and over the long run, costs really matter. So you can be very successful. You can have a great return. Average return on the stock market is 10%, and you should not. Saving is the first step of investing. So if you just save in CDs and so on, it doesn't pay off that high of a return. It doesn't give you a yield. So that's why it's very important when you save for retirement that you invest the money so it can productively increase the value over decades. And the best way to do it, the best asset that is out there is stocks, equities. Equities perform what I said, like roughly 10% a year. If you annualize it, it's a machine. You can use the 72 rule. It's called 72 rule. So you take the expected return, you take the 72 divided by the expected return of 10. It needs 7 years to double your money. It shows you how long it takes to double your money. And if you take Warren Buffett's return he did in the past, it's roughly 20% average a year. 72 divided by 20, it's like roughly 4 years you need to double your money, or Warren Buffett needed to double his money every 3 or 4 years. That's crazy, and it's probably not possible anymore, but he did that in the past. And just stick with the 10% roughly, even that is a fantastic thing. And it will double your money every 7 years, and it goes up like a machine because it's a snowball that comes in rolling. So one mistake is a lot of people do is they just save it. Saving is good, it's the first step, but you should, after you have saved it, you should invest it in stocks in a better return than 0.2% or 0.5% or 1%. Stocks give you a better return long term, and that is a pretty important thing, and you should not underestimate it. Studies show that other assets do also fine in a return based on, at least real estate takes away the inflation, so it's an inflation protection. Real estate, to own a home is nice, it protects the invested capital, but there's not a big return after inflation. So the real deal, the best is equities, long term, invest into those. A good tool is what I said, index funds. You invest in a portfolio of the largest, like S&P 500, largest 500 corporations in the US. And since they also export a lot, it's a kind of a global fund, kind of. And that protects you. And those are the best companies, the strongest public companies. And it's a really good tool to invest long term, because those companies are increasing their earnings constantly. When you think we get the population growth and innovations, we get 1 billion people every 2 years, 12 years, every 12 years are added to the planet. Alone that gives you a growth potential that is amazing. So to summarize is, watch the costs, take mainly I would suggest index funds, and do it long term, invest, not just save, and stick with it, start early, and that's all for today. Bye.